You know, for the last couple of months, a lot of the attention has been on the slimy practices of Electronic Arts with Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Need for Speed Payback. But Activision has also come under fire for the microtransactions and loot boxes present in games like Destiny 2 and Call of Duty World War II. Interestingly though, Activision has managed to escape a lot of the outrage that Electronic Arts cannot seem to shake. Obviously, I think there are many reasons why. A few I can think of right now is that Electronic Arts messing with possibly one of the biggest brands in the world, Star Wars, is much bigger than shady business in Call of Duty. And also the EA executives and other statements regarding the Battlefront 2 situation really just made things a lot worse. Defending greed with BS excuses did not go over well with fans, who were already angry with EA because they cancelled a linear Uncharted-like Star Wars game and shut down the game studio a month before, and additionally gave very BS statements on why it was a good thing that they were axing the game mid-development. Anyway, the point is Electronic Arts could not get out of the spotlight, and that was due to a lot of the dumb decisions and comments. But because of that, Activision really didn't get the spotlight that they truly deserve. So today, let's discuss the shameless, manipulative, greedy publisher Activision, and why they possibly may be just as bad or even worse than Electronic Arts. So first, understand that Activision is a publisher that destroys franchises that most of us could give a shit about, while Electronic Arts destroys all the franchises we do care about. I mean, Electronic Arts owns the rights to Dead Space, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Battlefield, Crysis, Medal of Honor, and obviously they currently have exclusive rights to the Star Wars license. Activision, on the other hand, has Call of Duty. Oh, in recent years, they've also published some crappy cash grab, low quality, rushed out games based on well-known popular franchises, which includes the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers, and Spider-Man. They also published one of the worst games I have ever played on PC, The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. What a shit show that was. I would also mention Destiny as one of their franchises, but that whole mess is a different discussion and more of Bungie's fault, as they own the rights to everything with Activision only having publishing rights for about 10 years, I believe. Anyway, they do make some alright remasters, I'll admit that. But Activision is by far one of the most greedy publishers in this industry, who lies to consumers almost on a regular basis. One of the most prominent examples is with Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, in which Activision, when announcing supply drops, because they sure love microtransactions, even putting it in a remaster, they promised it would be cosmetic only. I guess the community was okay with that, but it only took a few months after launch until they started adding brand new weapons to a remastered game. Remember that, it's a remastered game. None of this stuff was part of the original. Let's also not forget the shady business that was attributed to that game from the start, forcing you to pay $80 at launch because the remaster was only available with the legacy version of the crappy Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. The greed doesn't even stop there, because they remastered the Variety Map Pack and charged $15 for it, which is more than the original price of the DLC that was $10, I believe back in 2008 when Call of Duty 4 released. You look to so many other remastered games, whether it be Skyrim Special Edition, The Last of Us Remastered, or BioShock the Collection, and they all include the original DLC as free, part of the initial price. Once Modern Warfare Remastered finally did get a standalone version, Activision still charged $40 for it and did not include the Variety Map Pack. Just a really good example of how greedy this company can be and how anti-consumer they are. Just last year, before the whole Battlefront 2 mess in October of 2017, they were under fire for filing a patent that was granted, which outlines a process in which computer algorithms can match players together in order to increase the likelihood of microtransaction purchases. You know, the common excuse publishers use is, it's just optional loot boxes and in-game purchases. Well, some of gaming's top publishers are exploring ways to manipulate players into coughing up some extra cash. Activision would comment on this report saying this was an exploratory patent filed in 2015 by a research and development team working independently from our game studios. It has not been implemented in-game. But we clearly see what they were trying to do, and luckily the gaming community voiced their outrage at those anti-consumer slime bags. But remember, if this had not been discussed and the outrage over Battlefront 2 never happened, I guarantee some of these patents would have become a reality. And honestly, who knows, maybe they still will. Now, only a month later, right when Electronic Arts was under direct fire with the whole Battlefront 2 mess, Call of Duty World War II, the latest installment, was recently released. And again, the manipulation and greed was there, with loot boxes slamming down in players' faces in the headquarters mode, in which in some cases you could be tasked obsessed with watching others open loot boxes to get rewards. Complete manipulation to try and get players to open up their wallets just a little bit more. But again, before release, one of the leads behind the game, now an Activision executive, Michael Condrey, claimed that supply drops would be cosmetic only, but it was leaked only weeks after launch that they were planning to introduce weapons into their loot boxes, but those plans obviously had to be thrown out the window because of the whole Battlefront 2 loot box mess. This brings us to the present day, in which Activision still is doing shady things. Black Ops 4 was recently revealed, and a lot of leaks have started to pop up, one of which, backed by numerous sources, has said that there will be no single player in this next installment, but of course, a Battle Royale mode is coming, because of course they would jump on this trend. Personally, I'm actually happy that Activision stops pretending like they give a shit about single player, because they don't, and for the last number of years, it's just been there as a marketing tool. It's astonishing to me that the Black Ops franchise began with such a fun and interesting narrative to not having one at all. And at the end of the day, it's again all about money, and Activision can't shove microtransactions into that, so they could care less. Although, I would love to know the justification for a $60 price tag, especially since it seems like every year the multiplayer is broken or unfinished at launch. Just look at Call of Duty World War II, which only had, I believe, 7 or 8 multiplayer maps at launch, and you were lucky to get into a match the first 2 weeks. It's ridiculous. Now, getting back on topic, there are also rumors claiming that Black Ops 4 is an absolute mess right now, with it originally being like Overwatch and Lawbreakers, but playtesters apparently hated it, and now less than 6 months before release, they're scrambling to fix it, which honestly may explain why they just said screw the single player, but with 3 years of development, I really don't know how this happens. The Overwatch leak certainly fits the motto, forget what you know, but Call of Duty going down this road is seriously just jumping on trends, and you have to believe that Activision had a hand in telling Treyarch, the developer behind Black Ops 4, what to do. This is a franchise that has lost any and all innovation just playing the copy and paste game. Also, with consistent lies to fans and anti-consumer practices, it's time people open up their eyes and make a point that if we're going to call out Electronic Arts, then Activision needs to be next. But I will say this is a much more difficult battle with the millions of casual players who don't understand why loot boxes and a Call of Duty game are shady, and also the numerous YouTubers that are also just marketing tools to a company like Activision. Anyway, even after the Battlefront 2 mess, we can expect Black Ops 4 to have loot boxes, maybe cosmetic at launch, maybe. If they're smart, they're probably making the Battle Royale mode separate and creating a monetization system like Fortnite, but we really have to wait and see, because anytime this company has had the opportunity where it seemed like they were going to do something good, it never lasted. Activision and Electronic Arts aren't putting out top-notch quality games because they're not looking for that. They just want the most profitable game, and when they see Grand Theft Auto Online's billion-dollar success or Fortnite's cosmetic microtransactions bringing in millions daily, they want their own version. Activision trying to copy Overwatch, a game run by Blizzard, which I believe they're both subsidiaries of the same company, is not surprising with how successful it's been. If it means killing the identity that is Call of Duty, who cares? Because they know this formula is growing stale. But this is not the way to go. The only way they ever learn is with players voicing their opinions with their wallets. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare failed in sales because people got tired of the advanced movements, which ripped off Titanfall. And Black Ops 4 is just going after all the big trends or things that have worked. Will this work long term? I do not think so, but until more consumers take a stand, it'll be more of the same. Change can happen, but Call of Duty just may be a lost cause at this point, and I don't know if Activision would ever listen to the community unless they boycott. For the last number of years, Electronic Arts has been the main company using anti-consumer practices, something that we've talked quite a bit about, but right under them, Activision has been doing just as predatory things. While this video mainly concentrated on most of the recent events, understand there are many more examples, and there will be many more moving forward until maybe Activision finally pulls an EA and has their own Battlefront 2 moment. But I'll end this video saying voice your opinions with your wallet, especially this fall when there are a lot of big games coming around the same time that aren't out to suck your wallet dry. But thank you for watching. Let me know down in the comment section below your thoughts on Activision. There was a time when this company was making great innovative games in my opinion, and not trying at every moment to get an extra dollar. That was with games like Modern Warfare and Black Ops 1. But times have changed. Hell, at one point in Call of Duty Ghosts you could buy weapons for a set price, not having to open a stupid loot box with the chances of getting said weapon at 0.0001%. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, make sure to smack the like button and consider subscribing for more videos like this. Turn notifications on so you don't miss out on any videos, and I'll see you later.